Good morning, Bucknutters. Welcome into the Bucknuts Morning 5 here on Monday, May 2nd, 2016. I am Dave Biddle. Very happy to be joined by Bucknuts contributor Jonah Booker. J-Book, it looks like Ohio State is in the driver's seat for Chase Young. He is the number 2 weak side defensive end in the country, number 29 overall player in the country in the 2017 class, according to the 24/7 Sports Composite. Maryland got a commitment from Josh Kando, so this kind of opens the door for Ohio State a little bit more. I don't know if those two things are related. You let me know if you think they are, but do you think Chase Young will be a Buckeye? And just your thoughts on Kando committing to Maryland as well.
Yeah, I was very surprised that Kando committed to Maryland. He recently came out with a top 4 and didn't even include them, which pretty much caused a ultimate meltdown on the Maryland 24/7 board because those guys thought they were out of it, then turn around and boom, he commits to them. And because of his back and forth so much, Dave, I think this race is long from over. It's long time until signing day, so I wouldn't be surprised once official visits come around that you start seeing Kando start to look around a little bit more. It's tough for Maryland to hold on to those 5-star guys. And you mentioned Chase Young. I mean, you're talking about a big-time talent. As far as him and Kando in Maryland, they're in the point that you take as many athletic bodies that you can get your hands on. So I don't think those two are pretty much one in, one out when it comes to Maryland. But when it comes to Ohio State, the Buckeyes, they would take a blue-chip talent like that in a heartbeat. And you have to like where the Buckeyes stand. One of the Maryland 24 insiders recently crystal ball to the Buckeyes. He has a phenomenal relationship with Larry Johnson and the coaching staff, so you definitely have to like where the Buckeyes are at. And by signing day, I do think the Buckeyes will land them.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%. I think the Buckeyes will sign Chase Young in their 2017 class. In fact, I'll be very surprised if Chase Young is not in the class. All right, let's switch gears to the draft, which wrapped up on Saturday. Let's start with the negative before we get to the positive. There's so much positive, but, you know, Jalen Marshall and Tyvis Powell, I think a lot of fans are now, I don't know, too many fans I think are like saying, see, I told you so, instead of feeling bad for these kids. I feel bad for both of them. Now, hopefully they can pull a Philly Brown or an Andrew Norwell, and it won't even matter. They'll become starters and then sign a nice second contract, and we'll all laugh at the fact that they were undrafted, but at the same time, you leave early, especially in Jalen Marshall's case, you leave early with 2 years left of eligibility and you go undrafted. I mean, that's tough sledding right there. I mean, talk about that. And also, let me throw this at you. Should there be a rule where players like a Marshall or a Powell, should they be able to come back to school if they don't sign with an agent?
I think there should be a rule. The college basketball recently adopted a similar rule to where guys can declare if they don't hire an agent, they can opt back in to college after before a certain period of time. Now, when you're talking about Jalen Marshall and Tyvis Powell, these are two guys that was pretty much done with school. Tyvis graduated, so he had his degree, and Jalen he just was not a big fan of going to class. So those two, they opted to go to the draft, and a lot of people question if this is the right decision. Mike Mayock from NFL Network, he openly criticized Jalen Marshall at the Ohio State Pro Day, questioning why he made a decision to come out. But, you know, we don't know what the situation is with each one of those individuals, you know, personal background, if they need the money or not. But I tell you what, the money that Jalen Marshall is going to be making as a free agent, I think is something along the lines of $6,000 signing bonus and $2,500 base. I mean, that's going to be tough sledding to live in New York with that type of salary. Hopefully he can, you know, move in with Darren Lee or Devin Smith up there and try to make the squad. Tyvis Powell, I actually like where he landed in Seattle. when you're in the 6th and 7th round of the draft, sometimes it's almost better to go undrafted because you can choose your destination and potentially choose the best fit for you, similar to what Philly Brown and Andrew Norwell did at Carolina.
Yeah, so I wish Tyvis and Jalen well. Let's move on to the good news. 12 Buckeyes drafted within the first 4 rounds. It's pretty amazing. Now, 0 in the last 3, which that was, of course, the downside. But 12 Buckeyes drafted within the first 4 rounds. 5 first-round picks, just missing Miami's record. 2 second-round picks, 3 third-round picks, and a couple of fourth-round picks. What stands out to you the most, Jay Book, when you look at those 12 guys that got drafted from Ohio State?
I mean, it was just an historic weekend, just unbelievable. What stands out to me is just how much talent went in the first 3 rounds. I mean, it broke a NFL record for as many draft picks in the first 3 rounds. I think they beat out Tennessee's old record there. And you just look at it and you're like, my goodness, how did this team not win a national championship with all of this talent is what a lot of people, come back and ask. But it's phenomenal, Dave. You see a lot of these guys and you cover a lot of the guys, and we as fans and everything follow these guys' recruitment from when they're in high school and know their families, and see these guys become, well off is something to make proud of the university and the school and the state and the fans that, hey, my team is doing it the right way. Urban Meyer's pumping guys into the NFL. And what really caught my attention, Urban Meyer, he did an interview at the draft with Cleveland.com and said that next year they have a couple guys, but look out for 2 years down the road, they may have another big-time haul of guys going to the NFL. So that lets you know what type of talent is waiting in the wings, that you have an historic NFL draft, and Urban Meyer said, look out for 2 years now, we may have something similar.
And man, last thing, kind of off topic here, but Urban Meyer is fantastic on television. I don't want him to get too good at that. I don't want him spending too much time focusing on the NFL, maybe getting that itch to coach in the NFL, God forbid. I want him to coach at Ohio State for the next 20 years. And I know that's not going to happen, Jay Book, but I'll tell you what, Urban is just a natural talking about the NFL, talking about different draft picks, whether he feels like he's going to be a coach in the NFL one day or just an analyst. He was a natural on NFL Network over the weekend.
He's gifted. I mean, the guy, he's a master motivator. Even talking on TV, he gets you fired up. So I couldn't imagine what it's like being one of the players in the locker room with him. He'll have you running through a brick wall, but he's very talented at what he does. To me, I think he did an excellent job when he was on ESPN for 1 year, and you get him on that stage and he's in his comfort zone to where he's talking about the players, he's breaking down the film. He has that natural trained eye to where he can look at a guy on film and boom, 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 give you a quick, solid breakdown. But he definitely has a career after he's done with Ohio State. As you mentioned, I hope it's not anytime soon.
Great insights, as always, out of my man Jonah Booker. You can catch his column every week on Bucknuts Outside Columbus. You also can catch him all over the Front Row message board. You can catch him on Twitter at JBook37. Again, that's at JBook37. So thank you, JBook, and thank you to the listeners out there. Hope everyone has a great day. Take it away, best damn band in the land.